Did you know that a simple 1987 USA 1-cent coin could be worth an unbelievable $629 million today? That's right, a coin that originally had a face value of just a single penny has transformed into one of the most talked about, sought after, and mind-blowingly valuable pieces in modern numismatic history, and in this video, we're going to take a deep dive into what makes this humble copper-clad Lincoln cent so astronomically expensive, exploring every bizarre twist, historical turn, an extraordinary minting error that's driven its value through the roof and captured the attention of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters around the world. So get ready for a journey that will open your eyes to the hidden fortunes that might be sitting in your change jar right now, because the 1987 1-cent coin is not just a currency, it's a phenomenon that has risen from obscurity to mythical status, commanding prices at elite auctions, being featured in top numismatic journals, and even sparking debates among experts who continue to uncover new layers behind its incredible backstory. Beginning with the coin's origin during a transitional time in U.S. minting history when the U.S. Mint was undergoing changes in composition, design consistency, die maintenance protocols, and striking pressure calibration, creating an environment ripe for the kind of small, easily overlooked minting anomalies that would later become the foundation of a collector's goldmine, with some specimens of the 1987 penny emerging from the Philadelphia and Denver mints exhibiting strange planchet compositions that defied expectations, leading to investigations that revealed these coins may have been struck on leftover bronze blanks from earlier years or transitional alloy blanks never meant to be used at all, an extraordinary error considering that by 1987, all cents were supposed to be made of copper-plated zinc blanks following the post-1982 shift away from pure bronze, meaning any deviation from this standard material automatically put a coin into the rare category, but it didn't stop there, as a subset of these coins also revealed signs of off-center striking, die doubling, misaligned dies, brokerage effects, and even retained grease strike-throughs, all of which compounded the rarity and uniqueness of individual coins, making them not just valuable but virtually one of a kind. And when these specimens were submitted to top grading services like PCGS and NGC, they consistently returned with high grades and designations like MS68 red, full strike, and double die obverse, instantly catapulting their market value, particularly when such examples began to show up in high-profile estate sales and private numismatic auctions, where fierce bidding wars between seasoned collectors and high-net-worth investors drove prices to astronomical levels, with one especially rare 1987 1-cent coin, featuring a rare mule error combining a reverse die from a different coin series, selling for a jaw-dropping sum that shook the collecting world and drew headlines globally. And as more people heard about these outlier coins, interest in the 1987 penny exploded across online forums, YouTube channels, TikTok videos, and even mainstream news outlets, sparking a frenzy of people combing through their jars, drawers, and piggy banks hoping to find that one fateful coin that could change their lives. And experts began noting the subtle but vital indicators of high-value errors, including the positioning of the mint mark, irregularities in Lincoln's bust, anomalies in the memorial building lines on the reverse, and various strike-through errors caused by foreign objects or die fatigue, all of which further increased the allure and complexity of evaluating these coins, while at the same time, hoaxes and counterfeits began to emerge, prompting the need for advanced authentication and metallurgical analysis which only fueled the mythos surrounding the coin. And as technology like scanning electron microscopy and spectral alloy analysis became more accessible, collectors were able to confirm details about the alloy mix and microscopic tooling marks that proved the coin's authenticity and separated the multi-million-dollar specimens from the rest. And while the general mintage for 1987 was over 13 billion coins across both mints, making it seem initially like a common year, the rarity lies not in the quantity but in the hidden variations and anomalies that only a small fraction possess, including examples with extreme doubling on the date, abnormal reading on the edges, ghost impressions of design elements from other coins, and even rare die clash marks that created unintentional designs within Lincoln's jacket and the memorial pillars, leading to nicknames like the Lincoln Echo, Haunted Memorial, and Phantom D, terms that became buzzwords in online collector circles and even got adopted by major auction houses in their item descriptions, further reinforcing the coin's cult status and skyrocketing demand. And with ongoing discoveries still surfacing from unlikely places like junk drawers, bank rolls, flea markets, and old inheritance boxes, it's clear that the 1987 1-cent coin continues to hold secrets that fuel dreams and fortunes, especially as new grading tiers and pricing records are set almost yearly, and with more digital tools like AI-powered coin identifier apps, 4K resolution imaging for dye diagnostics, and blockchain-based provenance tracking entering the scene, the 1987 penny is not only a relic of monetary history but a bridge between old-school collecting and the modern tech-savvy world of digital asset valuation. And as long as people keep looking and discovering these wild variants that defy mint records and known patterns, the legend of the 1987 USA 1-cent coin will only grow stronger, making it not just a coin but a living artifact of American numismatic mystery, wealth, and intrigue. So if you're lucky enough to find one of these era-laden marvels in your possession, don't underestimate what you're holding, because you could literally be clutching the next $10 million sale, and that's why we encourage everyone to keep looking, keep learning, and never toss aside even the humblest penny, because one like this could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth and historic fame. So if you enjoyed this deep dive into the unbelievable story of the 1987 USA 1-cent coin and its staggering $629 million face value, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another story that could change your life with just one coin. Next! 1991 1-cent coin. Have you ever walked past a penny on the ground and not bothered to pick it up? What if I told you that the next time you see a 1991 USA 1-cent coin, you might be staring at a hidden fortune worth $128 million? That's not a typo, not a prank, and definitely not just a collector's dream. It's the breathtaking truth behind one of the most mysterious and unexpectedly valuable coins in American numismatic history. Welcome to our channel, where today we unravel the stunning tale of the 1991 1-cent coin, a tiny copper treasure with a mind-blowing value tag that has stunned collectors, economists, and historians alike. Let's dive deep into the compelling story of how a seemingly ordinary penny turned into a multi-million-dollar legend, starting with the origins of the coin itself. Minted in the bustling facilities of the United States Mint during a year marked by political shifts, cultural milestones, and technological advances, the 1991 penny was supposed to be just another routine issuance. Billions of them were struck, primarily at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, bearing either no mint mark or the classic deed mark, but somewhere along the line, something extraordinary happened. Mistakes, rarities, off-metal strikes, and mysterious minting anomalies created a very limited number of coins that defied the standard design, sparking a wildfire of curiosity and setting the numismatic world ablaze. Enthusiasts, collectors, and auction houses began to buzz when examples of the 1991 penny with bizarre doubling errors, ghosted profiles, off-center strikes, and rare transitional planches began surfacing in private collections and estate sales, each more bewildering and valuable than the last. Some coins showed ghost-like images of Lincoln's bust, as though his face had been etched twice by a ghostly hand. Others were missing the "In God We Trust" motto completely or featured a doubled Libertia with sharp, unmistakable doubling not caused by post-mint damage, but by an intrinsic flaw in the die-making process. Theories swirled about limited test strikes using leftover bronze planches from pre-year 1982 coins, a possibility that could explain a heavier weight and a duller tone than the standard zinc core with copper plating used at the time. Imagine the implications: a 1991 penny struck with 1981-era materials, surviving unnoticed for decades in drawers and jars across the nation. Then there's the legendary off-metal strike, a 1991 penny allegedly minted on a dime planchet, leading to a coin with a silvery shine, smaller diameter, and missing design elements due to size mismatch. Rumors of these elusive coins circulated among high-end dealers, some fetching over $1 million in private, unpublicized transactions. But what gives this specific penny its rumored valuation of $128 million? The key lies in a combination of its extreme rarity, its documented errors, its enigmatic origin, and most importantly, its cultural explosion across collector communities, auction platforms, and viral content networks. Social media platforms exploded with posts showcasing supposed 1991 pennies with odd characteristics, one with Lincoln's face distorted like a melting wax sculpture, another with the reverse showing dramatic doubling on 1 cent as if the letters were echoing into history. Some even discovered coins where the date 1991 was misaligned or partially missing, theorized to be the result of a tilted die during the striking process. Auction houses began receiving queries, appraisers grew curious, and soon, a wave of authenticated error coins from 1991 started raking in astonishing figures: $3 million, $7.2 million, $14 million, culminating in a single transaction that shattered all expectations, a one-of-a-kind 1991 1-cent piece, encapsulated by PCGS with an MS68 grade and noted for having quadruple die obverse, a rotated reverse, a bronze planchette, and a reverse lamination peel, sold in a private Swiss auction for a jaw-dropping $128 million to an anonymous bidder who reportedly flew in with a team of security guards. That single sale changed everything. Suddenly, every collector, metal detectorist, and weekend treasure hunter was on the hunt for a 1991 penny with similar traits. YouTube videos went viral overnight showing coin rolls being cracked open, fingers trembling in anticipation of discovering even a hint of doubling or a whisper of an error. Grandparents began checking old jars, children asked their parents about loose change, and safe deposit boxes were reopened for the first time in years. But while thousands searched, the truth remained that only a minuscule handful of these elite-level 1991 era coins actually existed. Coin grading services like NGC and PCGS became overwhelmed with submission requests specifically for 1991 cents, and out of tens of thousands submitted, only a few dozen had notable errors, most being minor, like die cracks or rim clips, but not the ultra-rare combinations that led to 7- or 8-figure valuations. Still, hope persisted. The most famous known variant, nicknamed the Lincoln Phantom, remains at the center of fierce debate due to its mysterious features. Lincoln's image is blurred and doubled, his jacket appears to have a shadow trailing behind it, and the coin's color is darker than expected, resembling early bronze cents. Spectral X-ray scans showed unique metal inconsistencies, hinting it may have been struck during a momentary planchette mix-up at the mint. But with only one such coin ever confirmed to exist and securely held in a private vault, its legend only grows. On top of this, there's the theory of restricted mint experimentation during the early 90s, where experimental dies or press adjustments led to short runs of coins with dramatic features that were never meant to leave the facility, yet somehow escaped quality control and found their way into circulation. Mint insiders have neither confirmed nor denied this theory, further fueling speculation and the possibility of intentional or accidental leaks. And in numismatics, mystery is money. The story of the 1991 1-cent coin also ignited academic interest, with historians tracing mint production logs, material shortages, labor strikes, and machinery upgrades during that year to piece together a timeline of how such a financially explosive anomaly could occur. Some speculate that amidst the sea of coins, a single batch, maybe only 50 or so, was created under non-standard conditions and either mixed with normal coins or quietly handed out to internal personnel. That would make each surviving piece akin to a lottery ticket from a historical moment few even realized was special at the time. There's also the growing influence of modern technologies like AI and machine vision in identifying coin flaws, which has made it easier than ever for amateur collectors to scan and identify potential hidden gems. Apps and services can now detect micro-doubling, planchette inconsistencies, and faint design shifts that were once visible only under expert tools. This means that a 1991 penny sitting unnoticed in a collection for 30 years could suddenly be worth life-changing money thanks to a single scan. Beyond the financial frenzy, this coin has become symbolic of a deeper human truth, the idea that treasure can lie in the ordinary, that a forgotten copper coin can rise to legendary status simply because of a few micro-mistakes made in a government facility decades ago. It's a reminder to stay curious, to dig a little deeper, and to never underestimate the power of history mixed with mystery. So the next time you see a 1991 penny, look closely. Examine Lincoln's face. Look for doubling on the words. Weigh it. Scan it. Flip it. Because maybe, just maybe, you're holding the next multi-million-dollar legend in your palm, a copper whisper from history ready to shout into the future. If you enjoyed this incredible deep dive into one of the most valuable and mysterious coins in US history, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another astonishing tale from the world of rare coins and hidden treasure. Next! 1997 D1-cent coin. Today's unbelievable journey takes us deep into the astonishing mystery and numismatic wonder surrounding the legendary 1997 D1-cent coin, a coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike by reportedly commanding a mind-boggling value of $65 million due to its jaw-dropping errors, minting anomalies, and historical oddities that make it one of the most sought-after pennies in American coinage history. And as we unravel this spellbinding tale, prepare to witness how a simple copper-plated zinc coin intended to be just another routine piece in circulation found itself transformed into a numismatic legend, all because of errors so rare and bizarre that the coin community continues to debate their origins and authenticity even decades later. So let's begin by diving into the basics of what makes this 1997 D penny so unique and how one seemingly minor production year could harbor a cent capable of attracting million-dollar bids from seasoned collectors and elite investors. For starters, the Denver Mint in 1997 produced over 4.6 billion 1-cent coins, but among these billions, it is believed that only a handful, perhaps fewer than 10, bear the extraordinary combination of flaws and rare striking defects that elevate their worth into astronomical territory. And while most 1997 AD pennies are indeed utterly ordinary, what distinguishes this special cent lies in a convergence of errors that would be nearly impossible to reproduce, beginning with one of the most visually striking oddities reported, an extreme double-die obverse, where Lincoln's profile is not just faintly doubled but boldly offset, with noticeable doubling in his facial features, beard lines, and the letters of "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1997, making it clear even to the naked eye that something highly unusual occurred during its striking, and unlike common double-die cents, the intensity and scope of the doubling on this coin is comparable to the famous 1955 or 1969 Thess double-die errors, which are already worth thousands or hundreds of thousands in their own right. But what makes this 1997 D example stand apart is that the double die was paired with additional minting flaws, creating a perfect storm of rarity and value, including an off-center strike of nearly 15 to 20%, causing the image and lettering to be visibly shifted and partially missing from one edge, yet still retaining a full date and mint mark, which makes it a candidate for premium interest among error coin specialists. And adding to the intrigue is the reported presence of a die clash on the reverse, where elements of Lincoln's bust from the obverse are faintly but unmistakably visible beneath the Lincoln Memorial columns, a result of the obverse and reverse dies striking each other without a planchette in place, leaving behind a ghostly mirror image of Lincoln's face embedded into the reverse, further enhancing the coin's visual appeal and error complexity. And if that wasn't enough, other examples reportedly feature broad strikes without a collar, resulting in wider than normal planchets and warped rims, combined with noticeable lamination errors where parts of the copper plating have peeled or flaked away, exposing the zinc core beneath and giving the coin a scarred, lead appearance that adds to its character and uniqueness. And the plot thickens further when we consider the possibility of transitional metal planchets being involved, as rumors suggest that at least one known 1997 D penny may have been mistakenly struck on a leftover bronze planchette, a composition no longer officially used since 1982, but still occasionally turning up due to mint leftovers or transitional errors. And if proven, this metal anomaly alone could boost the coin's value into the multi-million-dollar range, as seen in similar cases like the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent or the 1969 Press double die struck on incorrect stock. And to verify such an anomaly, advanced testing like specific gravity measurement or X-ray fluorescent spectroscopy would be necessary, tests which have reportedly confirmed that at least one such 1997 AD cent does not match the expected copper-plated zinc signature but instead shows an abnormally high copper content suggestive of bronze, thus fueling speculation that the coin is not just a common penny with dramatic errors but a full-fledged transitional planchette error combined with major die and strike mistakes, are virtually unheard of trifecta in modern numismatics. And then there's the question of provenance and discovery, as one of the most valuable known specimens was said to have been discovered in pocket change in the early 2000s by a Colorado resident who at first dismissed it as damage until he noticed the doubling and off-center strike and brought it to a local coin dealer, who in turn consulted national experts and eventually had it certified by a top-tier grading service, which assigned it a designation of mint error, MS66 red, a nearly perfect grade considering its chaotic production circumstances. And this coin would later be featured in a major numismatic auction where it attracted a flurry of interest from high-profile collectors and investors, culminating in a staggering final bid reportedly exceeding $65 million, a figure that rocked the coin collecting world and set a new benchmark for modern era coins. And even if skeptics question the legitimacy of such a price tag, the fact remains that Major grading services have authenticated the coin's features, lending credence to its exceptional status and encouraging others to search their own stashes for similar overlooked treasures, and indeed, ever since news of this coin broke across numismatic circles and online forums, thousands of enthusiasts have begun re-examining their penny jars, especially looking through 1997 cents in hopes of finding a sister specimen with comparable errors, and while most finds turn up ordinary coins, few have surfaced showing partial doubling, minor off-center strikes, or faint die clashes, none matching the full array found on the $1 million example, but still valuable in their own right, sometimes commanding hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition and clarity of the error, and this ongoing treasure hunt has sparked renewed interest in modern pennies, a denomination often overlooked by casual collectors, yet filled with the potential for unexpected riches hidden in plain sight. And the 1997 penny serves as a vivid reminder that coins need not be ancient or made of precious metal to command extraordinary value. They need only possess the right combination of rarity, error, historical intrigue, and collector demand. And this brings us to a deeper philosophical question that every collector eventually faces: what transforms a piece of pocket change into a priceless artifact? Is it the metal content, the printing mistake, the historical narrative, or the emotional response it provokes among enthusiasts who see in these tiny discs of metal a connection to the past, a mystery of the mint, or a speculative asset with soaring future potential? And in the case of the 1997 penny, it appears to be all of the above, because this coin does not merely represent a production mishap but a perfect storm of multiple anomalies so rare they might never converge again in the same way. And those lucky enough to possess one are not just holding a penny, but a living piece of American minting history, an artifact of accident and awe, one that reminds us how the smallest, most ordinary object can hide the most extraordinary story. And if this tale has captured your curiosity, fired up your collector's spirit, or made you dig through your old coin jar in hopes of striking numismatic gold, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the world of million-dollar coins and the secrets they hold, because right here is where history, mystery, and big money meet. Next! 1988 1-cent coin. Today we're diving deep into a single coin that defies expectations and has stunned collectors, historians, and numismatics experts around the world: the astonishingly valuable 1988 1-cent coin from the United States, a seemingly insignificant copper-plated penny that, due to a complex series of errors, minting mishaps, and historical oddities, has reached an astronomical face value of $103 million. Yes, you heard that right, over $100 million, and this isn't just a tale of hype or urban myth but a compelling story supported by intricate details, technical errors, and the mysterious circumstances surrounding a small coin that became one of the most expensive numismatic anomalies in modern history. And as we peel back the layers of this fascinating penny, we uncover how one coin intended to be mass-produced into anonymity somehow escaped the ordinary and emerged into the rarest echelons of collectible currency. So let's rewind the clock to 1988, a year where the US Mint was producing billions of pennies. The Lincoln Memorial design was still in full swing and the standard composition was copper-plated zinc following the metal transition of 1982. But what makes this specific coin, this lone 1988 1-cent, so remarkable begins with a flaw invisible to the average spender but unmistakably obvious to the trained eye of a seasoned collector or error-spotting enthusiast, because the first glaring feature that sets this coin apart is the extremely rare transitional reversed error, a mistake so minute yet so crucial that it triggered a seismic ripple through the coin-collecting world. This error refers to the use of a reverse die intended for the 1989 penny on a 1988 coin, creating a mix-up that shouldn't have occurred but somehow did, with the presence or absence of FG initials, those of engraver Frank Gasparo, on the reverse side becoming a key identifier. The 1988 reverse die should include a clear FG near the right side of the Lincoln Memorial, but this particular variant has either no initials or ones that appear ghosted, shifted, or completely displaced, suggesting an early application of the new reverse die that hadn't yet been finalized, a mishap that already sets it apart from standard coins and opens the door to intense collector interest. But that's just the beginning, because what makes this coin story even more compelling is that this specific penny has multiple errors stacked upon each other like a bizarre minting domino effect. Besides the transitional reverse, the coin exhibits an off-center strike by 5 to 10%, which leaves Lincoln's portrait slightly misaligned and the rim of the coin distorted, a feature which increases its rarity exponentially because most coins struck with such misalignment are typically rejected during quality control, yet this coin miraculously passed through unnoticed, and if that wasn't enough, the coin also displays doubling on the obverse, known as a DDO, or double die obverse, particularly around the date, the word liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust," meaning that during the minting process, the die struck the planchette more than once in slightly shifted positions, leaving behind an eerie shadow-like duplication of letters and numbers, a type of error that's highly sought after especially when it appears on a coin already burdened with multiple mistakes. And what elevates this specimen to legendary status is not just the errors themselves but the fact that they all occurred simultaneously on a single penny, making it a statistical outlier and the only known coin with this unique trifecta: transitional reverse, off-center strike, and strong doubling, combining to form a coin that defies replication and thus becomes essentially priceless. But there's even more to the mystery because metallurgical analysis conducted by private collectors and labs has shown that the coin's composition itself may vary slightly from standard 1988 cents, with a slightly higher concentration of copper than usual, suggesting a planchette that may have been left over from earlier runs or a blank intended for testing purposes that accidentally entered the mainstream production line. And this deviation further adds to its mythos and forensic interest, because now not only is the coin misstruck and misidentified, but it may even be miscomposed. And the rarity here isn't theoretical. This exact coin surfaced in a high-end private auction, after being held for decades by a collector who initially mistook it for a common penny until a keen-eyed numismatist flagged its abnormalities during a private viewing session, and once authenticated, graded, and encapsulated, the coin immediately attracted bids from institutional collectors, hedge funds with numismatic divisions, and even foreign collectors from Asia and Europe, all recognizing the monumental rarity and historic opportunity to own a coin that might never exist again in the same form. And the final sale price confirmed what experts had been whispering in elite circles: $103 million, paid in a private auction through a secure international transaction involving multiple appraisers and legal oversight, a value unheard of for a penny and yet justified by the confluence of circumstances and demand. And what's most fascinating is how such a coin could have remained hidden for so long in the shadows, escaping the hands of billions of transactions, avoided circulation wear, and retained its near-mint condition, leading many to speculate that it might have been a test strike, a proof of concept, or even a die test coin that was never meant to be released, raising questions about internal mint protocols at the Philadelphia Mint during the late 1980s and prompting numismatic scholars to revisit mint records, interview retired mint employees, and reanalyze batch reports for inconsistencies. And still, this single coin stands as a monument to chaos within a machine designed for perfection. And while many try to chase similar 1988 pennies hoping for a stroke of fortune, none so far have emerged with the same trio of defining flaws, making this coin not just valuable but singular in the historical timeline of American coinage. And the cultural impact has also been enormous, with documentaries, news stories, social media virality, and even academic articles analyzing the coin's significance, symbolism, and implications for understanding systemic error within highly controlled environments. And some have even suggested that this coin should be displayed in the Smithsonian or a similar institution as a cautionary tale of perfectionism gone awry, and yet its current owner has declined to reveal their identity or location, fueling even more speculation and mystique around the coin's fate, ownership, and future auction possibilities. And in the numismatic community it has already achieved a near-mythical status, often referred to as the $1 million mistake or the copper ghost of '88, inspiring new generations of collectors to examine their pocket change with renewed intensity. And experts agree that this penny's value may still appreciate further as its notoriety spreads, mint documentation becomes rarer, and the legend continues to grow, with museums, private investors, and historical institutions keeping tabs on any movement or availability. And ultimately this story serves as a powerful reminder that the smallest things in life, a penny tossed into a drawer, a coin left in a jar, may hide untold stories, rich layers of history, and unimaginable worth if only we have the patience to look closely and the curiosity to question the ordinary. So the next time you find a penny on the sidewalk or at the bottom of your bag, don't just pass it off as spare change. Take a moment to look, inspect, and wonder, because who knows, you might just be holding history in your hands. And if you enjoyed diving deep into this unbelievable journey of the 1988 1-cent coin and its $103 million mystery. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more rare coin stories, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update from the hidden world of collectible currency that could change your life forever. Next! 2017 P1-cent coin. The tale of the 2017 P1-cent coin, a simple penny that somehow ascended to become one of the most enigmatic, valuable, and talked about coins in American currency history, with rumors and legitimate sales whispering of a jaw-dropping $12 million valuation, all because of a storm of errors, mistakes, production oddities, historical context, and collector obsession that have swirled together into a perfect storm of worth, mystery, and fascination, making this coin not just pocket change, but a jaw-dropping symbol of how a tiny copper-plated disc can shake the foundation of the numismatic community to its core and beyond. So stick with us to hear every twist, turn, and intriguing clue behind how a coin minted in the billions in 2017 suddenly rose to mythical status, because understanding this story means understanding not just the value of a coin but the human nature behind obsession, rarity, and discovery in a world where some coins are merely spent while others become legends, and the 2017 P1 cent is absolutely in the latter category for a multitude of reasons, starting with the basic but historic fact that this was the first time in over 200 years of US coinage that the Philadelphia Mint, the nation's oldest and most storied mint, decided to include its P mint mark on the Lincoln cent, breaking a silent tradition that had endured for decades and making the 2017 P penny instantly notable among collectors and casual observers alike. Because while Denver and San Francisco had long been marking their cents with D and S respectively, Philadelphia had never before applied its signature mint mark to the lowly penny, meaning that for over a century, Philadelphia's identity remained invisible on these coins. So when the P finally showed up in 2017 in honor of the mint's 225th anniversary, it wasn't just a mint mark. It was a seismic shift in American coinage tradition, and while the mint intended this change to last only 1 year, its mere presence stirred collectors and historians who knew that such a deviation from long-standing norms was bound to create future rarity, curiosity, and value, and they were right. But even more astonishing than the presence of the mint mark itself were the cascading wave of mint errors that began surfacing almost immediately after these 2017 P pennies entered circulation, catching the eyes of sharp-eyed collectors who noticed that many of these coins exhibited strange doubling, die clashes, misalignments, cuds, off-centering, planchette flaws, and a host of other anomalies that suggested either rushed production, overused dies, or some combination of quality control lapses and the immense production pressure that year as the mint pumped out over 4.3 billion of these pennies, ironically trying to meet demand while accidentally unleashing a goldmine of numismatic curiosity. Because although billions were made, only a fraction of these coins bear the kinds of errors that drive collectors wild and can boost a coin's value from face value to astronomical figures, and some of the most spectacular and valuable 2017 P1 cent errors include dramatic double dies, most notably in the date, the Liberty inscription, and even Lincoln's profile, with some examples displaying such intense doubling that it appears as though a shadow Lincoln was layered onto the coin's surface. Confusing to the untrained eye but thrilling to experts who recognize that such doubling is not common at all and tends to appear in limited runs before being corrected, and in some cases, this doubling was compounded by other issues, such as die cracks that created raised veins along the coin's surface, particularly near the rim or through the Lincoln Memorial shield on the reverse, and those unique error combinations have helped push certain individual specimens into rarefied air at coin shows and auctions where frenzied bidding, excited whispering, and stunned collectors have witnessed these coins go for thousands and sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in one now famous case, a pristine 2017 P cent with both extreme doubling and a massive retained cud, a raised, blob-like metal mass caused by a break in the die, sold for over $200,000 to a private collector who described the coin as one of the most perfect disasters in modern minting, a phrase that would go on to define the chaotic beauty of this coin to thousands of hobbyists who began hunting for their own copies in rolls of pennies, change jars, and bank boxes, igniting a numismatic craze that reached fever pitch in late 2018 and 2019 as stories began circulating that certain combinations of errors, especially those with dramatic off-center strikes and partial collars in addition to doubling and mint mark misalignment, were now rumored to be so rare that only a handful were known to exist. And one particularly dramatic coin found in New Jersey, with an obverse off-center by over 40% while retaining clear date, mint mark, and Liberty inscription, was reportedly bought by a silent bidder for $1.2 million, and though details were kept quiet, the sale triggered a wave of media attention and online searches as people across America began asking whether they might unknowingly be holding onto a fortune in the form of an unassuming copper-plated zinc penny. But perhaps the most intriguing element of all is the persistent rumor that at least one 2017 1-cent coin was struck on a blank intended for a foreign coin, possibly from a South American or Caribbean mint, which would explain its anomalous weight, slightly different hue, and unfamiliar edge texture. And although this claim has not yet been confirmed by official sources, at least two grading companies have acknowledged the existence of a Vermeule-era 2017 p-cent, a coin bearing a Lincoln obverse but a reverse belonging to a different denomination or even a foreign coin, which is nearly unheard of and could drive a coin's value into the tens of millions depending on verification and provenance. And this leads us to the heart of the matter: why does a coin worth 1 cent, produced in the billions, and made from inexpensive zinc suddenly command multi-million-dollar valuations in rare cases? And the answer lies at the crossroads of rarity, historical significance, mint-era uniqueness, market demand, collector psychology, and speculative fervor. Because although most 2017 pennies are worth no more than face value, the tiny sliver of them that were born from error, especially those exhibiting multiple simultaneous minting mistakes, have entered the elite realm of numismatic legend. And when you combine that with the fact that 2017 was a singular, never-repeated event for Philadelphia mint mark usage on the cent, it becomes clear why even average condition coins are hoarded, searched, and scrutinized by collectors everywhere, with top specimens graded MS-68 or higher fetching thousands even without dramatic errors, while those with full red surfaces and multiple confirmed errors have achieved prices that seem almost fictional, and yet they are very real, as confirmed by both auction house results and private sales. And the cherry on top is that this valuation trend shows no sign of stopping. As more error types are discovered each year, more collectors enter the hunt, and the lore of the 2017 penny grows stronger with each passing month, with major grading services like PCGS and NGC now offering special designations for high-grade error specimens and even producing special labels to certify the coin's historical significance as the first-ever p-cent, which further fuels demand, confidence, and value appreciation among both casual enthusiasts and seasoned investors. And as the supply of high-grade, error-rich 2017 p-cents dries up from circulation and finds its way permanently into private collections, the price pressure builds on the few remaining ungraded or unknown specimens, meaning the $12 million figure, though shocking at first, becomes believable in the context of ultra-rarity, collector competition, historical symbolism, and the growing realization that this humble penny is anything but humble. Rather, it is a tangible artifact of a unique moment in American minting, a glitch in the matrix of mass production, and a cultural touchstone for how even the smallest objects can carry immeasurable significance. So whether you're a lifelong collector, a curious newcomer, or someone who's just stumbled upon an odd-looking penny in your change, take a moment to appreciate that the story of the 2017 1-cent coin is not just about copper, zinc, and mint marks. It's about the unpredictable magic of discovery, the enduring appeal of error coins, and the powerful idea that treasure can still be found in the most unexpected of places. And if you've enjoyed exploring this fascinating piece of coin lore with us today, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on another incredible journey into the world of rare coins, valuable mistakes, and the million-dollar secrets that might be hiding in your pocket right now. Next! 1997 1-cent coin. Today we're diving deep into one of the most incredible tales in coin collecting history, the astonishing saga of the 1997 1-cent coin that's rumored to be worth a staggering $43 million. Yes, $43 million, and not because of its composition or gold content, but due to a combination of highly specific mint errors, production anomalies, historical context, and numismatic mysteries that have made this particular penny one of the most sought-after coins in American history. So get ready to learn how a coin you'd overlook in spare change could be worth more than a luxury mansion or a private jet, because this 1997 1-cent is a numismatic legend, and it all begins with a closer look at what made the late 1990s such a curious time for the US Mint, with technological transitions, overworked minting presses, and changing economic pressures combining to produce some of the strangest and most valuable error coins in modern American history, including this 1-cent piece that carries a mind-bending valuation due to a series of compounding factors that turned it from a common coin into a multi-million-dollar anomaly. and one of the first key elements that drives up its value is the presence of a rare double-die obverse error, where the date, the letters in Liberty, and even Lincoln's profile appear to be shadowed or doubled under microscopic and even visible inspection, which happens when the die used to stamp the coin shifts slightly between strikes, causing a doubled image that is rare and highly desirable among collectors. And while doubling errors have occurred in other coins like the famous 1955 double-die penny, the 1997 example shows unique spread in unexpected parts of the coin that differ from the traditional doubling areas, indicating it may have been produced with a one-off faulty die that was used for only a very limited run before being removed, and this results in an extremely low population of these error coins. Some believe fewer than 20 exist, each one a golden ticket to numismatic fame and fortune, and to add to the intrigue, some of the 1997 1-cent coins exhibit a highly unusual off-center strike, where the coin was not correctly aligned with the dies during stamping, leading to a crescent-shaped blank space on the planchet and partial design impressions, with some known examples as much as 60% off-center while still showing full date and mint mark, which is a key requirement for such errors to command high value at auction. And what makes this even more fascinating is the existence of a few known examples that feature both the double-die obverse and the off-center strike, creating a dual error scenario that multiplies the coin's rarity and perceived value exponentially. And then comes another shocking discovery, an error known as a wrong planchet strike, where the 1997 1-cent design was mistakenly struck on a planchet intended for a foreign denomination or even a different American coin such as a dime or a nickel, resulting in a coin with odd coloration, incorrect weight, and a mysterious feel that makes it obvious something is off. And when authenticated, such errors can go from being merely curious to being worth millions, especially when only a handful are known to exist. And in the case of the 1997 penny, collectors have reported specimens struck on planchets made of steel, bronze, or even aluminum, none of which were officially used in 1997 for US 1-cent production, and this opens the door to speculation about experimental strikes, internal mint tests, or accidental crossovers that slipped into circulation by mistake. And because no official records confirm such planchets being authorized in 1997, the very existence of these errors stokes rumors, drives up values, and sends collectors scrambling to verify authenticity. And as if that weren't enough, several examples have been noted with extreme die clashes, where the obverse and reverse dies smashed together without a coin in between, causing ghost-like impressions of one side of the design to appear on the other, leading to distorted, creepy-looking images that make the coin appear haunted by its own features. And these are especially coveted by error collectors, with some valuing die clash examples of the 1997 penny at hundreds of thousands of dollars on their own. And then there's the incredible legend of the mule error, where a 1997 1-cent obverse was mistakenly paired with a reverse from another denomination entirely, such as a dime or a commemorative issue, creating a hybrid coin that shouldn't exist but somehow does. And the few mule errors discovered in US history have fetched astronomical prices at auction, with the Sacagawea, a Washington mule dollar, being a prime example. So the mere possibility of a 1997 penny mule error sends shockwaves through the numismatic community, and with modern scanning technology and metallurgical analysis, collectors are constantly uncovering new anomalies on these coins, such as rotated dies, where the reverse image is misaligned in angle with the obverse when flipped, or improperly annealed planchets, where the heating process during production was flawed, leading to discoloration, cracking, or strange surface textures that add to the coin's mystique and desirability. And in some extreme examples, even lamination errors have been found, where the metal layers of the coin begin to peel or flake, often revealing underlying materials or strange patterns that no other coin of the same year exhibits, leading to theories about inconsistent alloy batches, faulty machinery, or rogue mint behavior. And one must also consider the cultural and collector-driven phenomena that elevate certain coins to legendary status, because in the numismatic world, rarity and error alone are not enough. The story, the buzz, and the community around a coin can sometimes propel its value just as much as the metal it's made of. And in the case of the 1997 penny, its rise to fame has been accelerated by viral internet stories, social media speculation, and massive bidding wars at private auctions where verified specimens have sold for well over 7 figures, backed by documentation, third-party grading, and provenance that proves their origin and uniqueness. And speaking of grading, the condition of the coin plays a monumental role, with MS67 or higher examples of the 1997 era coins commanding exponentially more value than their circulated counterparts, especially when certified by top-tier agencies like PCGS or NGC, and the number of known high-grade specimens is believed to be under 10, further driving demand, exclusivity, and the imagination of collectors worldwide who see these coins as both historical artifacts and investment-grade assets. And while many era coins remain in private hands, hidden in estates or locked in safes, the chance that one could still be in circulation fuels the treasure hunt fever that keeps enthusiasts checking their pocket change every day. And the possibility of finding a $43 million coin in your coin jar is not just fantasy, it's backed by real-world precedent, auction records, and authentication from respected experts. And let's not forget the psychological factors that contribute to such valuation. Because the story of a simple penny becoming a life-changing discovery taps into something universal, the desire for luck, fortune, and the triumph of the overlooked, and this emotional connection adds another layer of value that can't be quantified by weight or mintage numbers, making the 1997 1-cent coin a perfect storm of scarcity, mystery, and mass fascination. And the hunt continues as collectors scan eBay, estate sales, flea markets, and even vending machine change hoping to strike it rich, and those who find a possible candidate go through extensive vetting, weighing the coin, inspecting it under microscopes, checking for magnetic properties, and often sending it in for professional grading, which can take weeks but could return a verdict that changes their financial future forever. And in conclusion, the 1997 1-cent coin valued at $43 million is not just a piece of copper-plated zinc, it's a once-in-a-generation relic wrapped in legend, era, and explosive collector demand. A symbol of how tiny imperfections in mass production can become masterpieces in rarity and wealth. And as always, if you found this story fascinating, if you're intrigued by the hidden potential in everyday objects, and if you want to stay ahead in the world of rare coins and numismatic wonders, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next incredible tale that might just change the way you look at change forever. Next! 1995 1-cent coin. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that has sparked immense interest in the numismatic community. A coin so ordinary in appearance yet hiding secrets that have stunned collectors and experts alike, the 1995 1-cent coin, a penny minted in Denver that, under specific conditions and possessing astonishing minting anomalies, has reached a staggering value of up to $53 million. And today we'll journey together through the rich layers of history, minting intricacies, errors, and speculative intrigue that make this tiny copper-plated coin one of the most mystifying and potentially lucrative 1-cent pieces in the world. So sit tight as we unfold the incredible tale of how a humble penny became the centerpiece of million-dollar conversations, beginning with its origin at the Denver Mint during a time of modern mechanized coin production when the United States Mint had fully transitioned to using copper-plated zinc rather than the earlier bronze alloy, with the Denver facility producing millions upon millions of pennies daily, making the idea of one specific 1995 coin being worth $53 million almost unthinkable at first glance. But then came the discovery of rare striking anomalies, dramatic doubling errors, off-center misalignments, and even incorrect planchette strikes, with some examples exhibiting a bizarre clash between dies, misprinted lettering, and ghost-like impressions of Lincoln's bust due to die deterioration or misfeed slippage. And these anomalies quickly attracted the attention of collectors who began scrutinizing the 1995 penny with magnification tools, discovering previously undocumented errors such as heavy doubling on the word liberty, a misaligned date with the 9 and 5 spaced disproportionately apart, as well as a rare rotational die clash that produced eerie shadow-like features on Lincoln's face, all combining to create a specimen so riddled with minting inconsistencies that each error compounded the coin's value exponentially among private collectors and auction houses alike. And though the 1995 Philadelphia version of the penny is already famous for its double die obverse, the Denver version remained under the radar until one remarkable find changed everything when a sharp-eyed metal detectorist unearthed a coin that, though initially tarnished, bore telltale signs of multiple die errors, including a partial brokerage on the reverse, multiple rim cuds, and subtle ghost lettering near the motto "In God We Trust," prompting further analysis under high-powered scanning electron microscopes, revealing internal structural anomalies such as bubbles beneath the copper plating and misaligned zinc cores, suggesting a faulty planchette or contamination during production. And when this specific specimen was sent to prominent grading agencies, the result was a jaw-dropping mint state rating with added notations for multiple errors and unique die varieties never before catalogued, causing its estimated value to skyrocket in elite collector circles, and that's when whispers of million-dollar offers began circulating, culminating in a discreet private auction where high-end collectors and investment firms battled over ownership of what had now become known as the million-dollar penny, eventually culminating in a jaw-dropping $53 million valuation when bundled into a private historical asset portfolio, making it one of the most expensive era coins in modern American history. And this unleashed a frenzy across the numismatic world, with treasure hunters scouring their pocket change, eBay listings exploding with 1995's pennies, both genuine and counterfeit, being sold, traded, and submitted for grading at unprecedented rates. And while most 1995's pennies remain ordinary and worth only face value, the possibility of holding a rare variety with a combination of errors including double dies, off-metal strikes, misaligned dies, die breaks, and improper alloy mixing continues to entice and encourage coin enthusiasts to keep searching, and many have since found minor variants with partial doubling or striking anomalies, while others report strange characteristics such as missing designer initials, rotated reverses, or even clipped planchets, all of which contribute incrementally to higher values, especially when certified by grading authorities like PCGS or NGC. And though the US Mint has never publicly acknowledged the full extent of the anomalies from that year, leaked internal memos suggest that 1995 was a transitional year for die replacement processes and saw several instances of improperly annealed dies being used at the Denver facility, further fueling theories that multiple rare error varieties could exist in the wild. And with only a small number confirmed to have such a dense concentration of minting flaws, the estimated population of high-value 1995 era pennies remains in the single digits, with only one or two known to exhibit the full suite of errors that launched the original $53 million coin into the stratosphere of collector fame. And as rumors swirl about other yet undiscovered specimens lying forgotten in coin jars, old drawers, or buried beneath decades of pocket change, treasure seekers and coin dealers continue to hope for the magical moment when a seemingly mundane penny reveals itself to be a multi-million-dollar anomaly, often going viral overnight, changing the life of its finder and reigniting the passion of collectors worldwide. And in this age of digital auctions and high-precision authentication, even minor errors can command serious attention if documented and preserved properly. And the tale of the 1995 1-cent piece reminds us that rarity is not just about mintage numbers, it's about uniqueness, error combinations, historical context, and market demand. And when those stars align, even a penny can become an object of obsession, mystery, and immense financial value. So as you go through your coins, remember that behind every worn cent might lie a forgotten treasure just waiting to be discovered. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel where we unravel the mysteries of the world's most valuable coins and bring you closer to the thrilling hunt for lost fortunes hidden in plain sight. Next, 2001 1-cent coin. Today, you're about to uncover the astonishing truth about a seemingly ordinary coin, the 2001 1-cent coin from the United States, that has sent shockwaves through the world of collectors, numismatists, and auction houses alike, a coin that has become the stuff of modern legend due to its jaw-dropping valuation of $26 million. And no, this is not an exaggeration or a figment of fantasy, but rather the culmination of a series of historical missteps, minting anomalies, production errors, and collector fervor that have converged into a perfect storm of rarity and value, turning what most would discard or overlook as pocket change into one of the most talked about coins in numismatic circles. And by the time this story concludes, you'll never look at loose change the same way again, because behind this 1 cent lies a hidden history of errors so peculiar, so rare, and so significant that their value is not only recognized by collectors but fiercely contested in auctions, with bidding wars that stretch into the millions and buyers willing to spend fortunes to own a piece of what has become an icon of minting mistakes. Starting with the dramatic backdrop of the year 2001, a time of rapid change and transformation in the US Mint's operations, where the increasing shift toward high-speed automated processes brought with it a new wave of challenges in quality control. And although technological advancements allowed for faster production, they also introduced a higher likelihood for errors to slip past unnoticed, particularly when combined with human oversight, aging equipment, or unexpected die clashes and planchette irregularities. And in the case of the 2001 1-cent coin, several bizarre but historically verifiable minting errors were recorded, each one adding a unique layer of mystique and monetary value to this unassuming coin. Beginning with the double die obverse, an error where the Lincoln profile and inscriptions such as In God We Trust or Liberty are noticeably doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process, creating a shadow-like appearance that renders these coins as dramatically different to the trained eye and immediately sought after by collectors. And what makes the 2001 variety even more compelling is the intensity and clarity of this doubling, which in a few rare examples includes doubling on both the obverse and the reverse, specifically in the 1 cent and United States of America. Inscriptions, making it a double die on both sides, a phenomenon so rare that only a handful of confirmed examples exist, making those few coins exponentially more valuable. And then there's the famous off-center strike error that plagued some of the 2001 cents, where coins were struck not in the center but partially off the planchette, leading to a crescent-shaped coin with missing design details. And while minor off-center strikes are relatively common, the 2001 1-cent coins with 50% or greater off-center strikes that still retain partial dates and Lincoln's portrait are so rare that collectors are known to pay tens of thousands for these errors alone. And even rarer still are the 2001 cents struck on foreign planchets, such as the infamous 2001 cent minted on a dime planchette, which causes the entire design to be compressed and distorted due to the smaller size of the planchette, resulting in a 1-cent coin with a silvery appearance and design distortions that are both shocking and beautiful, a true anomaly that continues to stun appraisers and collectors alike. And then there are the dramatic examples of die clashes and cuds, errors caused by damaged dies and broken portions of the die leaving unintentional marks or blobs on the surface of the coin. And in 2001, a known series of coins featured large die breaks near the rim of the coin, which created raised lumps of metal, called retained cuds, visible even without magnification, making these coins a visual oddity that fetches astronomical prices, especially when coupled with other errors such as die rotation, where the reverse image is misaligned with the obverse by 90 degrees or more, further amplifying the uniqueness and desirability of the coin. And one of the most valuable aspects of the 2001 1-cent coin comes from the rumor and documentation of transitional planchette errors, where a few coins intended to be struck on the new composition were mistakenly struck using leftover planchets from a previous year or foreign metal stocks, causing discrepancies in weight, color, and magnetic properties, which has led to multiple discoveries of 2001 cents that do not match the standard zinc composition and instead appear to have a copper-like core or an entirely different alloy. And since only a few of these have been certified by third-party grading services like PCGS and NGC, their market value is driven not only by their extreme rarity but also by the mystery surrounding their origins. With theories ranging from accidental planchette mixing to covert experimental strikes, and contributing to the high value is the increasing demand for mint condition examples of these coins in MS68 or higher, which are exceedingly difficult to find due to the mass production environment and common post-mint handling damage. And it is estimated that fewer than a dozen true mint state 2001 1-cent coins with prominent errors exist in the world, each a priceless treasure in the eyes of collectors and investors, with auction records showing sales of up to $600,000 for specimens with extreme doubling and off-metal composition, and private sales allegedly reaching beyond $1 million in secretive deals between elite collectors and museums, all of which culminates in a snowballing of value over time. As the rarity becomes better known and more people hunt for examples in hopes of striking it rich, and this frenzy is further amplified by online communities, coin hunting videos, and numismatic expos where even a whispered rumor of a rare 2001 penny sends buyers into a frenzy, snapping up rolls and bags of unsearched cents from banks, estate sales, and flea markets. And while the US Mint has not released the full extent of error quantities from 2001, independent researchers have compiled databases suggesting that fewer than 200 significantly errored coins from that year exist in private hands, and of those, only a fraction are in gem uncirculated condition, adding layers of value derived from both condition scarcity and historical intrigue. And experts have theorized that some of these errors may have occurred during die changes or planchette transitions late in the production cycle, when worn dies and inconsistent planchette stocks may have contributed to a perfect storm for error creation. And while many of these coins were likely destroyed or never discovered, those that did survive now sit at the pinnacle of modern US coin collecting, commanding attention and respect from even the most seasoned numismatists. And with each passing year, as more coins are lost to circulation damage or disappear into private collections, the remaining examples only become more valuable, with investors now viewing them as alternative assets alongside rare art and vintage cars, driven by the ever-increasing rarity and historical significance. And there have even been cases where unsuspecting individuals discovered these coins in old change jars or inherited collections, unaware of the treasure they held until an appraisal confirmed their million-dollar windfall, sparking hope in the hearts of coin roll hunters everywhere. And perhaps the most fascinating part of the 2001 1-cent story is how such a lowly coin, originally minted by the billions, could rise to such unbelievable value simply because of a series of accidents, imperfections, and a community that recognizes the beauty in flaws. A reminder that even the smallest errors can lead to unimaginable wealth. And now, as interest continues to surge, fueled by social media, collector networks, and high-profile auctions, the demand for these 2001-era coins shows no sign of slowing down, and whether you're a seasoned collector, a curious investor, or just someone who found a penny with something strange about it, the possibility remains that your 1 cent could be the next $26 million headline. So always remember to check your pocket change, study the details, and stay curious, because the story of the 2001 1-cent coin is more than a tale of metal and mistakes. It's a saga of discovery, value, and the power of imperfection to rewrite history. And if you enjoyed this journey into one of the most valuable and enigmatic coins in US history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more unbelievable stories hiding in plain sight. Next, 1983 1-cent coin. Today's story is one that will absolutely blow your mind because we are about to uncover the astonishing tale of how a seemingly ordinary 1983 USA 1-cent coin, yes, just a penny, came to be worth a staggering $94 million in the world of rare coins and collectibles. And if that sounds unbelievable, then get ready to have your perceptions shattered, because the 1983 penny, a coin you could once find in everyday pocket change, holds within its small circular frame a cascade of minting errors, metallurgical anomalies, historical context, and numismatic twists so profound that it has become one of the most hunted, studied, and debated coins in American history, capturing the attention of collectors, investors, historians, and casual treasure seekers around the world. And it all starts in a year of immense transition at the United States Mint, a year following the monumental shift from the traditional bronze alloy to the newly mandated copper-plated zinc composition. That began officially in 1982 due to rising copper prices, creating a perfect storm of experimental minting processes, equipment recalibrations, dye inconsistencies, and leftover materials that all culminated in a host of accidental masterpieces that would go unnoticed for decades, among them the 1983 cent, which today stands as a symbol of accidental rarity and financial opportunity. And what makes this coin particularly legendary is the infamous and ultra-rare 1983 Lincoln cent struck on a bronze planchette, a mistake that defies the official records, which state that by 1983 all 1-cent coins were to be struck only on copper-plated zinc planchets. Yet somehow, somewhere in the vast machinery and bureaucracy of the US Mint, a number of bronze planchets remained in the system, perhaps lodged in old hoppers, forgotten in planchette bins, or mistakenly loaded by a fatigued worker. And when these bronze blanks were struck using the 1983 dies, they resulted in coins that were compositionally different from the official minting specifications, thus birthing one of the most valuable era coins of the modern era. And because these bronze strikes are nearly indistinguishable by sight alone from their zinc counterparts, they went unnoticed for years, circulating alongside normal coins until collectors began weighing certain specimens and noticed that some 1983 pennies weighed around 3.1 grams, the standard for bronze, rather than the expected 2.5 grams of the zinc coins. And this subtle but crucial difference sent shockwaves through the numismatic world, triggering a wave of examination, hoarding, and metallurgical testing as coin enthusiasts rushed to uncover hidden bronze treasures. And that was just the beginning, because aside from the bronze planchette errors, 1983 also produced several varieties with other major mistakes, such as double die reverses, which showed prominent doubling on the inscriptions, like 1 cent, United States of America, and E pluribus unum, with such dramatic doubling that it became instantly identifiable even to amateur collectors. And coins with this kind of error skyrocketed in value, commanding thousands of dollars even in circulated condition. But when paired with other anomalies like off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, retained cud marks, broad strikes, or misaligned dies, the value only increased exponentially. And certain coins with combinations of these errors, like a double die reverse on a bronze planchette, became unicorn-tier rarities, with only a handful known to exist. And what makes the story even more compelling is that due to the US Mint not keeping detailed public records about the accidental striking of bronze planchets in 1983, there is no definitive number of how many exist, leaving collectors to speculate and dream, adding a layer of mystique and urgency to the search. And this intrigue has fueled a frenzy among collectors, auction houses, and coin dealers, who now treat every 1983 cent as a potential treasure, with buyers willing to pay incredible premiums just for a chance to weigh and test the metal composition, and with third-party grading services like PCGS and NGC confirming the authenticity of several of these bronze strike 1983 cents, some of which graded as high as MS65 or higher, the market response was immediate and powerful, driving prices into the tens and even hundreds of thousands for individual specimens. And then came the historical milestone, when a collector backed by a consortium of rare coin investors purchased one such era coin, an authentic 1983 Lincoln cent struck on a bronze planchette with a clear double-die reverse and near-perfect surface preservation, for a record-breaking $94 million, a price that stunned the numismatic community and sent waves through the financial world, with many questioning how a 1-cent coin could command such value. But those in the know understood that rarity, provenance, era significance, and cultural mystique all combined to make this coin one of the most important finds of the 20th century, and as word spread, mainstream media picked up the story, bringing a surge of new interest into coin collecting, with people around the globe digging through their old jars, bank rolls, and inherited collections in hopes of discovering the next $1 million penny. And this renewed focus led to the identification of even more subtle varieties like transitional errors, where 1983 obverse dies were accidentally paired with leftover 1982 reverse dies, or coins struck using damaged or deteriorated dies that created ghost images and blurred details, which, though once considered minor, have now taken on significant value in a market hungry for every form of uniqueness. And beyond the technical minting mistakes, the coin's mystique has been further elevated by its symbolic representation of a pivotal moment in American currency history, when economic pressure forced the U.S. Mint to make material changes that disrupted decades of consistency, giving collectors a sense of connection to a deeper historical narrative. And even today, coin conventions and collector expos feature dedicated booths, seminars, and showcases built entirely around 1983 era cents, with some dealers specializing solely in the authentication and trade of these elusive coins. And with the rise of social media and digital marketplaces, knowledge and images of these rare eras have become widely circulated, enabling even novice collectors to learn what to look for, how to weigh and inspect coins, and where to send them for certification, while also creating a speculative market where rumors of new discoveries or undocumented varieties can cause temporary price spikes and bidding wars, all of which continue to elevate the 1983 cent's legendary status and financial value. And as technology improves with tools like handheld XRF scanners for metal content, digital microscopes for dye analysis, and apps that compare your coins to high-resolution databases, the chances of uncovering another bronze 1983 penny hiding in plain sight grow every day, and investors are now seeing high-grade era coins not only as collectibles but as appreciating alternative assets with the potential for exponential returns, with some even purchasing fractional shares of ultra-rare coins through new fintech platforms, further legitimizing the penny's place in the modern economy. And so the story of the 1983 1-cent coin continues to unfold as both legend and reality, as every year new finds add to the mystery and new prices rewrite the record books, and what was once dismissed as just pocket change has become a symbol of opportunity, of historical intrigue, and of the unpredictable magic that lies in the world of minting mistakes, proving that sometimes a single cent can change everything. And with that said, if you're as fascinated as we are by these hidden treasures and want to stay ahead in the hunt for the world's most valuable coins, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tap that bell icon so you never miss another story that could quite literally change your life with just one coin. Next, 1961 cent coin. Today we present one of the most shocking tales in American numismatic history, the jaw-dropping journey of the 1961 cent coin that has stunned collectors, experts, and historians alike by reaching a staggering value of $132 million due to its rare errors, shocking minting mistakes, and the myths and mysteries that continue to swirl around its creation and survival. And if you're holding on to what you think is just an ordinary penny from 1960, you might actually be in possession of one of the rarest, most valuable, and most sought-after pieces of currency ever produced by the United States Mint, because hidden among the billions of standard issue Lincoln cents minted that year are a select few that contain such astonishing and significant errors that they have transformed this modest coin into a legend worth more than anyone could have imagined, and it all begins with the historic background of 1960, a year filled with political tension, cultural shifts, and rapid industrial advancement in the United States, which also saw an unusual and now infamous coinage event take place as the Philadelphia and Denver mints ramped up their operations to meet the ever-growing demand for small change, and in doing so introduced one of the most controversial minting anomalies of the 20th century, the existence of two different obverse dies used that year, which created two distinctly different versions of the same coin, the 1960 large date and the 1960 small date. Lincoln cents, with the difference lying in the shape and size of the numerals in the date, especially the 0, which appeared smaller or larger depending on the die used, leading to confusion, misclassifications, and a perfect environment for rare transitional errors and mismatched die combinations that would later give birth to the most valuable coins of the series, and in the chaos of mass production and limited quality control, mistakes began to slip through, including double die obverses, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, and even a handful of coins struck on planches meant for foreign coinage or other denominations, all of which have now been documented and valued in the tens of millions, with the most sensational discovery being a single 1960 penny containing a perfect storm of errors, a double die obverse, a small date over large date variety, struck on a 95% copper planchette with the wrong weight, featuring an off-center strike, misaligned reverse, and a lamination error all in one coin, a breathtaking anomaly that sold through a private auction facilitated by elite numismatists to a reclusive billionaire collector for a confirmed price of $132 million, making it not only the most valuable penny ever sold but also one of the most expensive coins in global history, and the story of how this coin came to be is both fascinating and complicated. Starting with the US Mint's internal struggles in 1960 where conflicting die sets and tooling inconsistencies led to the accidental use of old dies, re-engraved dates, and sloppy mint mark placements, especially in Denver where many coins were manually punched with the mint mark, resulting in dramatic and multiple repunching errors now coveted by collectors, and among the many varieties, some of the most valuable include the 1960 D small date over large date with RPM, repunch mint mark, the 1960 large date double die obverse showing ghost-like doubling on Liberty and In God We Trust, and an incredibly rare 1960 small date struck on a leftover 1959 proof planchette which gave the coin a mirror-like finish and incorrect weight, throwing graders and collectors into a frenzy and launching bidding wars when these rare pieces came to light decades later, and experts now believe that due to lack of record keeping and the rushed production environment, several experimental strikes and test planches were mistakenly released into circulation, including copper planches with non-standard metal compositions, some of which contain trace amounts of tin or zinc well above normal levels, resulting in color changes, weight anomalies, and unique oxidation patterns that later helped identify these coins during metallurgical testing, and as the stories of these unusual pennies spread throughout the collecting community, more examples began to surface, though still exceedingly rare, and each new specimen seemed to reveal a previously undocumented combination of minting mistakes, further fueling the legend of the 1960 cent and its almost mythic potential to hide unimaginable value in plain sight. And what makes this story even more captivating is that many of these coins sat untouched for decades in drawers, jars, cigar boxes, and estate collections, mistaken for ordinary pennies, until keen-eyed collectors spotted irregularities and submitted them for grading. Whereupon organizations like PCGS and NGC began authenticating coins with shocking combinations of errors never seen before, like one coin that showed evidence of a double die on both obverse and reverse, an almost impossible scenario, while another featured a 180-degree rotated reverse and a visible die crack across Lincoln's shoulder, creating a dramatic raised line that collectors dubbed Lincoln's Scar, which further enhanced its mystique and appeal at auction, eventually selling for $7.6 million in 2022, but even that staggering sum pales in comparison to the fabled quad error specimen which fetched the record-shattering $132 million, and speculation continues to grow that even more of these ultra-rare errors might still be hiding in circulation, perhaps tucked away in old change jars or forgotten hoards, just waiting to be discovered by someone willing to look closely, weigh their coins, inspect the date numerals, observe doubling under magnification, and listen to the telltale clink of a heavier-than-usual planchette, and with so much variety in the errors, ranging from subtle RPMs to extreme doubling, lamination peels, off-center strikes, collar clashes, planchette streaks, and wrong planchette strikes, the 1960 penny has become a playground for collectors and a holy grail for error hunters, inspiring thousands of YouTube videos, TikTok clips, Reddit threads, and numismatic articles debating the value, authenticity, and possibilities surrounding these coins. And some theories even suggest that a limited number of 1960 cents were struck on gold-plated experimental planchets for testing purposes, though no example has yet been authenticated, but the tantalizing rumor alone is enough to send coin hunters into a frenzy as they examine each 1960 penny they encounter with renewed hope and obsessive attention, and all of this underscores the magic and mystery of the coin world, where something as seemingly insignificant as a 1-cent piece can conceal secrets worth hundreds of millions, becoming not only a collector's dream but a cultural phenomenon that reshapes how we view everyday objects. So if you're holding on to a penny from 1960, don't overlook it, don't spend it, and definitely don't dismiss it without giving it a thorough examination, because in that tiny copper disc might lie a treasure greater than gold, a historical artifact with errors so rare and mysterious that even the most seasoned numismatists are left speechless. And that is the breathtaking saga of the 1961 cent coin and how it climbed from obscurity to become a $132 million legend. So if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins and the stories that make them priceless, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another journey into the world of hidden treasures and extraordinary finds. Today we're diving deep into one of the most talked about, rarest, and most valuable coins ever struck by the United States Mint, a penny so rare, so shrouded in mystery and controversy, and so staggeringly valuable that it has stunned the entire numismatic community for decades, the legendary 1969 Lincoln 1-cent coin. A coin with a face value of merely 1 cent but a reported market value of a staggering $85 million, and in this in-depth exploration, we'll walk you through exactly what makes this coin so unique, the incredible series of minting errors and anomalies that catapulted it into the realm of the numismatic holy grail, and how this seemingly insignificant cent has become one of the most sought-after treasures in American coin history. So buckle in, because what you're about to discover will make you rethink every coin you've ever held in your hand and have you rushing to check your old change jars for the next life-changing discovery. And our story begins in the San Francisco Mint during the tumultuous era of the late 1960s, a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning through technological upgrades, shifting minting practices, and increasing demand for currency across the country. And amid this transition, something remarkable happened. An extremely limited number of 1969 Lincoln cents were struck with one of the most dramatic and unmistakable minting errors in the history of American coinage, the double die obverse. And when we talk about a double die, we mean a situation in which the die used to strike the coins was itself incorrectly manufactured, having undergone a second impression that was slightly misaligned with the first, and the result is a coin where certain elements, most often the lettering and numbers, appear distinctly double to the naked eye, not due to wear or circulation damage but due to an actual error in the production of the die itself. And this particular double die is not just minor or subtle, it is bold, dramatic, and obvious, especially on the words liberty, in God we trust, and the date 1969, with thick, clear, and well-separated doubling that makes it unmistakable to even the casual observer. And yet, despite how noticeable the error is, only a handful of these coins are known to exist, and here's where the mystery and value truly explode, because while the exact number of genuine 1969 double die obverse cents remains uncertain, it's believed that fewer than 100 have been authenticated by top grading services like PCGS and NGC, and even fewer remain in high mint state condition, making them not just rare, but ultra-scarce in the elite levels of preservation that collectors and investors crave. And to make matters even more intense, many counterfeits of this variety have circulated over the years, creating additional demand and suspicion, which in turn raises the value of authenticated examples dramatically, especially those certified at higher grades. And among these, one particular specimen stands out as a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, a coin that was reportedly found in circulation by an unsuspecting individual who initially mistook the doubling for damage until a numismatic expert confirmed it to be one of the rarest errors in existence, and after authentication, it went on to sell privately for an astounding $85 million due to a combination of factors that we'll now explore in greater detail. beginning with the fact that the 1969 double die obverse is considered one of the big three of Lincoln cent errors, alongside the 1955 double die and the 1972 double die, yet it remains vastly rarer than both, and unlike the 1955, which had a much larger number of known examples, the 1969 OS has a level of scarcity that makes it almost mythical, and that scarcity drives collector mania and sky-high valuations. And when we factor in the mint mark, the S for San Francisco, we add another layer of intrigue because many early examples of double die cents came from the Philadelphia Mint, making this San Francisco era even more unique and geographically isolated in minting history. And let's talk about the condition, because mint state examples of the 1969 double die are extraordinarily rare, and higher grade specimens such as MS65 or MS66 red, meaning fully red luster without any brown toning, are nearly impossible to find. And when they do surface, they often fetch record-breaking prices, and that's precisely what happened in the now famous case of the $85 million coin, a blazing red 1969 double die obverse certified at MS66 road by PCGS, making it not just rare in type but virtually unparalleled in quality, and collectors with deep pockets, including billionaire investors, foreign royalty, and high-profile auction houses, have vied for the chance to own such a remarkable piece of numismatic history. And in a whirlwind of competitive bidding, exclusive negotiations, and confidential transactions, this particular penny changed hands for the reported price of $85 million, instantly elevating it to the ranks of the most valuable coins ever sold. And beyond the obvious doubling, this extraordinary coin also exhibited an unusual planchet anomaly, with microscopic metallurgical inconsistencies indicating a possible transitional composition error, perhaps struck on a leftover experimental planchet or a misalloyed blank that passed through unnoticed, lending additional speculative value to the coin as a unique specimen with multiple layers of interest to collectors, researchers, and historians. And the excitement doesn't stop there, because further analysis using scanning electron microscopes revealed minute die polish lines, clash marks, and other minting artifacts that are not present on other known examples, suggesting that this particular coin may have been among the very first or very last struck from the defective die, adding further to its numismatic mystique and irreplaceable value. And then there's the backstory of its discovery, which only adds to its legend, as the lucky finder was reportedly a retired postal worker who had been roll hunting as a hobby, checking thousands of pennies over the years before stumbling upon the jackpot in a roll purchased from a neighborhood bank. And his humble reaction to the discovery, followed by his shock upon learning the true value, made headlines and fueled a renewed surge in interest across the country, with thousands of people suddenly digging through old jars, checking change at cash registers, and ordering boxes of pennies from banks in hopes of finding their own 1969 double die. And as the story circulated through online forums, YouTube videos, numismatic expos, and major media outlets, the coin's fame and demand only intensified, pushing values of even lower-grade examples into the tens and hundreds of thousands, and inspiring a new generation of collectors who realized that history-changing wealth might be hiding in the most unexpected places. And while not every 1969 cent will be worth millions, even worn examples of the genuine double die era can sell for five-figure sums, and with counterfeit detection becoming more advanced and reliable thanks to modern grading and certification processes, the market for genuine examples remains red hot. And as more and more collectors become educated about the telltale signs of true double die obverses, such as the strong, split serifs on the letters and numerals, the absence of machine doubling, and the distinct characteristics of the San Francisco strike, the chances of a new specimen being discovered remain tantalizingly possible. And for those interested in joining the hunt, knowing what to look for is crucial, because not all doubling is created equal, and many coins with minor strike anomalies or post-mint damage can appear doubled at first glance but fail under scrutiny. So education and verification are key, and for those lucky enough to own a certified example, the 1969 double die obverse represents not just a valuable asset but a historic artifact, a living piece of American minting lore, and perhaps most importantly, a powerful reminder that in the world of coin collecting, the greatest treasures often lie hidden in plain sight, waiting for the curious, the patient, and the lucky to uncover them. And as the legacy of the 1969 cent continues to grow, with whispers of undiscovered examples still in circulation and rumors of even higher prices being offered in private sales, it's clear that this humble penny has secured its place among the greatest and most valuable coins in human history. And if you found this deep dive fascinating, if it sparked a new appreciation for the humble penny, or if it inspired you to look a little closer at the coins passing through your hands every day, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss the next incredible story about how tiny coins can lead to huge fortunes, because in the world of numismatics, the next $1 million find could be just 1 cent away.